and blood, and flesh of swine, and that on earth, and the flesh of swine, that's a pig's, and that on which any other name hath been invoked besides that of God, that of Allah. Like a meat that has been blessed, but not of the name of Allah or the name of God. You shouldn't eat those meat, no food. So you can imagine that there's a lot of things. That is why we have Muslims normally believe in halal, or whichever way they choose, or kush meat. They have their own meats that they come up with. Some of them mainly because they don't want the animal to struggle before death, and also they strain it according to their satisfaction in the directions in the book. But whichever way you go, you don't want to suffer an animal from dying. My literal and my layman's understanding is clear. I've said it before. Just become a vegetarian. You don't hassle anybody's life. You even become more holier, than you trying to, cut the throat of an animal in certain ways that you will reduce the pain. What pain is it? One is dead, You're killing the animal. A sharp pain or a slow pain does not make a difference. You really want to keep animals and give them their life and prevent them from fear or, of running away and all those pain coming upon their life. Become a vegetarian. Don't struggle yourself. I don't know how you're going to cut some animal's head and make it painless as much as you can. I mean, what's the point in going through all that? I mean, to my view, that's what I think. You should become a vegetarian. There are foods that veg that have got all the nutrients that meats have got as well. In fact, too much meat recently, I've told that it has got some consequences of cancer that erupts, or comes up as belly, stomach cancer, or something like that. Everything has got its side effect. If you really feel that it is a problem, you don't need to go and eat that. So these days there are some who are complaining, the Islamic people complaining that people are, becoming too rejective of the dressing and the food of halal that they do and all that. I don't know. I mean, do you blame people to be in such a situation? Some of the Islamic dressing is very, very, very serious in the sense of the covering of your whole body and the face, and I was once analyzing it in a certain way that if I was to see, just yesterday I saw one woman. I almost wanted to go sit and talk to her, but she sort of made some gestures with her eye that told me straight that she resents me in so many ways. So, I mean, you don't know me for you to resent me, but I mean, that's what her eyes suggested. And the only thing I could see was her eyes. The whole face was covered, just the eyes I could see. And the way she moved her eyes and she did, clearly suggests that the gesture that he made suggests that, no room for any conversation or no room for anything. I don't want you to, for some reason, I don't know. Now, what do you think me, who is not Muslim, supposed to think of a Muslim woman? I begin to think of you as a racist or somebody who discriminates or who has some personal hatred in your heart. And you're not supposed to have that. You read the Quran about the women and what Allah will guide you in a sense of peace and all that. You're not supposed to behave or give anybody the slightest idea that you are hateful and you are resentful, or you are in so many ways an evil state of person. You don't have to do that at all. How can anybody say you're a nice person if you behave in a way that doesn't suggest that you're a nice person? The good thing about it is you've hidden your face, so nobody can even know you. If you happen to take those robes off and you are walking, nobody will know that you are the one who did that. I won't even be able to identify the woman who did that. She's completely covered her face. I won't be able to identify. I only saw her eyes. If I'm a very good person who can identify people by eyes, then I can do that. But how am I going to do that? I don't know anything about looking at somebody's eyes, seeing the person the next day, and telling that she is the one who was sitting there covered all their face. I don't know. Now, what is even worse of it is that, as I analyze, you dressing up like that and being in a bus or anywhere, a friend of yours dressed up the same way will come and sit by you, and you won't be able to identify that friend. And she also will not be able to identify you. If a man also go up, if men also goes to dress like that, you will even know if your husband is sitting next to you. I mean, this is a very old format of dressing. It's quite an old thing. I mean, if it comes to dressing, you are allowed to do whatever you want, because faction people, they also do the faction parade, and models, they wear very weird dresses, some of them, and people go in and buy it, and that's life. It could be that the Muslim style of dressing is a culture thing, and it can be seen as a faction style, so it's fine. But the idea where it becomes your everyday approach to life in society, how do you mingle with people in such a situation? How can people really know who is that and who isn't that? And it is necessarily, I read it and I'm thinking of it as something which is meant only for the mosque. You're going before your God. But some of them are also using it to say that the idea of preventing men who cannot control themselves, from raping and all those things, because if a woman dress up like that, then it doesn't become offensive to a man. You don't know, even some of the Muslim women who dress like that, covering all their face, they still looking beautiful. With a woman, no matter what you cover yourself with, if you cover yourself with the metal, you wear the metal, the knighthood dress, your shape will still be there. Your eyes or something would definitely attract somebody. You see, so it's not necessarily there's a woman who will go naked that a man will not be even moved by anything. It is not necessarily that. There's something within us that drives us. The idea of a woman is fine. Sometimes even with that clothes that they wear covered all over with just their eyes, you can still tell. You can still look and still be enticed and still be moved, and most of them, I have my own personal stories of people who face all those things, and some of them even they themselves willingly go into any fornicating thing that they want to do with no big deal, So why hypocrisy? You dress up like that to sort of stop or prevent some sort of wild attacks or wild people, sort of becoming so aggressive on you in certain ways, and then what? You're saving society will become better because of that. That women will begin to decide that, hey, we don't want to, provoke people, so we want to go out and dress like this. You can imagine if all women are dressed up like this. You cannot tell Janet from Jane. And you walk and pass your friends and no. You only know your friends if you came together from the house. Then you know that. Then you make sure that nobody will, in a crowd, nobody loses each other. You have to hold your hands, because you can mix in the crowd easily and mix in and get missing, and nobody will find you, because unless you take the face off, and people will then look for you and see where you are. Because it's clear you've covered your face, you've covered the entire part of you, and not just not just your body and you left your face also. So some of the dressing are very extreme, and it's not like you're dressing just for 5 minutes of their time or 1 hour of their time. It's a whole day dressing that they have to put on, the whole day. Many of them, I realize, is not important. Maybe in the Jewish sense, sometimes when people were going to marry, they also use the same thing. They cover their face that the husband will not see the woman and all that. And there were all those negative. There was this disadvantages that I'm sure people have come to realize, and they've quit from it. Jacob ended up sleeping with a different girl instead of sleeping with the right woman, because he never saw the face of the woman, the right woman that he chose, and he had to end up sleeping with another sister. All those things are not. What's the point is for them to do all that? But these old mentalities, old mental ideas. That time, those people who were there, they were not able to do computers and manufacture anything that is done today. So it is very much an old idea. We're built on that, but we don't keep that and continue on that. How can we move on? That same dress that the religious group of the Muslim or the Roman Catholic will present themselves can be seen by a designer and redo it again for it to be more modernized in certain ways, that they will dress up like that and still will not be provocative. It will be still neat. There are people who are in the social world who dressed up and their dressing does not provoke anybody. You provoking is the fact that you're a woman. your nature, your body, your shape. If you dress your shape,